magical.
It's magic.
Magic. I like to call it hot Java love.
Oh.
And now, coming to you from the K2 Studios in San Diego, California, it's the world-famous Chris and Christine Show.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? How you doing? I am Chris.
And I'm Christine, and welcome to the 9th episode of the Chris and Christine Show.
Do indeed. Fantastic. Welcome, everybody, to the show.
Looking fine with number 9.
Yes, it is the 9th episode, number 9. Thank you guys so much, everybody who's listening out there, and everybody who's subscribed, and everybody who listens across the world and around the world. Here we are.
Can you believe it, Chris, that we have been going on this podcast now, launching into month number 3?
Month number 3 already?
Yeah. Did you ever think that we would, get one episode, let alone 9 episodes?
No, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Just see what happens, see how this thing goes, and here we are. So, number 9 coming at you live.
Yeah, we have some great topics tonight. Last week, we talked about millennials and maturity. We focused on the top 10 jobs that millennials are pursuing, as well as what we refer to as post-traumatic debt relationship. And refresh everybody's mind, Chris, what is that?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess if you see a lot of bad things happen financially, like the financial crisis, 2008, for example, people losing their homes, people losing their houses, their jobs, all their money, their savings, their retirement. And then with debt and taking out big loans and big risk, it's kind of a big scary thing, like trying to apply for a loan or getting a house, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, so we talked about how maybe that's part of why millennials aren't wanting to commit as much to things like buying a house and other stuff like that. And folks, you're just going to have to pardon us a little bit if Chris is coughing just a tiny bit. He's got the little bit of the remnants of a flu, and it's just,
gosh. Man, I've been sick for 2 weeks now? Or
47 days.
How many days? Forever. My goodness.
No, it's been 12 days now.
Oh, gosh. It's horrible.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But we're going to recap, other than Chris being sick, what we did this week. Because we did some fun stuff, including Chris met my family.
That's right. We did a big road trip up north. Where did we go, by the way? I was sleeping. I let Christine drive my truck, and I took a nap. But when I woke up, we were there. It was great.
We went to Camarillo first, and then to Ojai, California.
Ojai, how you doing?
It was, it's close to Santa Barbara-ish area. We drove over there on Saturday. I was actually it's called an Aspiring Superintendent's Academy for a couple days. And so we didn't get to join everybody else early, but we showed up on Saturday just around sunset and stayed until Sunday afternoon, right around 2. And we got on the road. It was for my grandfather's 90th birthday.
90th birthday. He's only a few years older than me. So I'm almost there.
Yeah. Right. Speaking of which, it's birthday week.
That's
for
right.
Chris.
It's my birthday week this week. Yes, all your birthday wishes, I'll take them all. Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you.
Yeah. We've had a fun night this evening celebrating Chris because he and I are getting ready to leave day after tomorrow. We're going to be spending his birthday in Hawaii.
Yes, we are flying out to Hawaii. Day after tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Flying out to Hawaii.
Yeah, but tonight we took him out for dinner because Chris has 2 little boys, and we wanted them to be able to celebrate him. And so we took him out to a steak dinner with his parents.
Yes, fantastic. Got the kids. I got the birthday cake. I got the birthday presents. I had the steak and the beer and all that great stuff. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a fun night. And Chris got to open some fun, heartfelt gifts from all the boys, Zeke and Jacob and Mason. They all got him something special. And he got a fun gift that was Mason's idea that he's super excited about.
We actually got dedicated the Chris and Christine Show coffee mugs with our logo on the actual coffee mugs. They are awesome. They're great. I can't wait to start using them. and they'll be fantastic.
And on the back side, it says, until next time, keep moving forward.
That's right. Our logo. There
Yeah.
we go. I love it. It's great. It's fantastic. I love these things.
Yeah, so we have 2 hot topics for you tonight, and we're going to get ready to jump into them right after this. The Chris and Christine Show is now on Instagram at the K2 Show San Diego. Check out our latest pictures, videos, show teasers, and life updates on Instagram at the K2 Show San Diego. And now it's time for Hot Topics. Do.
Fantastic. Hot topics. What do you
This
got?
hot
What you got
one-
today, baby? What you got for me?
This one is sick.
Literally.
Literally sick. Flu season, Chris,
Ooh.
has already hit the country, and
Ugh.
it is rumored to be worse than it's been in years
You know, they
past.
always say that every year. It's the worst. It's the worst. Get your flu shot. Get your flu shot every day. Blah blah blah.
But unfortunately, this flu hit this household a lot faster than we anticipated,
Well,
and
I don't
it
know.
hit Chris.
Did I have the flu or I was just sick? I don't know.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We
Oh,
are not
okay.
medical professionals, but we're
Wait,
going
we're
to help
not.
you
I
all.
thought. Well, you're gonna be a doctor, so
Yes, Dr. Love.
no, Dr. Christine.
Dr. Christine, but not a medical doctor. But we are going to help everybody figure out whether they have a cold or the flu. And Chris, you're going to be able to get some information and self-diagnose. Are you ready?
Yeah, what you got?
All right. So we're going to talk about common misconceptions about the flu. And I don't know if this was in your household, but when I grew up, I thought the flu was when I was like throwing up
Me
or
too.
stomach issues.
Right. I thought you had the fever, like that big like ice pack on your head, and you're like in a fever. That's the flu, right?
Well, the fever has to do with it, but it's not always just the throwing up. There's different types of flu strains. And so we have this article that I'm going to read to you about knowing the difference between a cold or a flu. Are we ready?
Okay, what you got?
All right. So, Chris,
Yeah.
what a typical cold consists of is that it starts with a scratchy throat or runny nose and gradually gets worse. Was that you?
Yeah, well, I don't have much of a runny nose though. That's the thing. I have
All
like the
right.
scratchy throat and like
Okay.
the coughing, but
Okay,
yeah,
well
a
then
little
let's keep
bit.
going. The rest of the cold symptoms state that it tends to be mild and includes sneezing, nasal congestion, a sore throat, slightly swollen glands, and coughing.
You had all of that. It didn't have any swollen glands. I kept checking the glands out, and I was like, those things don't seem swollen. So I don't. What gives here? So I don't know. Maybe I got bronchitis or something.
I don't know, but we're going to go into flu symptoms next. So
Uh-oh.
the flu that's going around as he's coughing, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, here's the deal. It hits you fast.
Oh man.
You may feel feverish in the afternoon, but have full body aches by dinner time. You have all the joy of a cold symptoms, which was, let's see, scratchy throat, runny nose, sore throat, nasal congestion, slightly swollen glands, and coughing. However, you will get a fever, headache, fatigue, chills, and fun stuff like vomiting and diarrhea.
Ugh. Gross.
Okay, I don't need to know all the gory details.
I
But
didn't have those other things, but I didn't have I always have headaches though, so I don't know if that has anything to do with that.
But when he was sick, he had this really bad headache and he was so tired, but he worked through it. And I kept saying, Chris, don't go to work. You need to stay home.
I know. I kept pushing it. And then finally Friday, I called in sick to work. I said, I can't do it anymore. I just can't. I had oh gosh.
Yeah. And then he slept like all day. And then
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
know if he was going to be able to feel up to it to going to the family weekend. And, that brings us to like talking about how you deal with sickness in a relationship. Ladies, if you're in a relationship, then you know that individual that you're with, that gentleman, probably isn't the kindest patient.
What? What are you talking about?
We're going to talk, now that we've talked a little bit about cold and flu, we're going to talk about the in sickness and in health part of wedding vows, because
Yes.
those are important.
Right. So it means if the other person gets sick, on their deathbed or whatever, you're supposed to be is still in love. Is that what it means?
Well, it means that you're supposed to be there, like
Oh,
not just leaving them.
Well, I would hope you'll be there. My goodness, what kind of heartless person can actually leave you if you're on your deathbed?
No, but
You
I
know?
think that it's important. This is just the book according to Christine. I think it's really important for couples that are dating to see how each other operate in sickness, because that's what you're in for, friends. You got to know how that person responds when they're sick, and you do need to be prepared. This was our first time together when Chris was sick.
Yeah, I was kind of being a big wuss about it a little bit, but what guy really isn't,
Well,
hey, heads out, ladies,
Kind of a baby and mean.
I don't know about mean. I'm just kind of grumpy.
Yeah, super
Like,
grumpy.
Yeah, grumpy, like, go away. I just want to just die. Leave me alone. I'm dying. This is horrible.
I would get calls and he says, I think I'm dying.
I think I'm done. Well, it wasn't call, the text message.
No, he would call me and say, I think I'm dying. The text messages they would say, I have no voice. My voice is completely gone.
Yes.
And then I'd call him and he's like, hey, babe, what's happening? I'm like, I thought you said you had no voice.
Well, I don't. It was kind of like, what's happening?
Yeah, it was like that, narrator of the creepy movie is like, and then he walks into the dark
Yes.
closet.
Yes, that's me. Perfect for Halloween. by
Right,
the way.
absolutely. But I've been sick I get headaches. I get chronic migraines, but I've been sick one time while we were together. And I was like, Chris, can you come take care of me? And he goes, what? Are you crazy? I don't want to get what you have. And then when he's sick, he's like, babe, I haven't had anything to eat all day. And I'm like, okay, honey, I'll come make you chicken soup. Exposing myself to the plague.
I know. She made me a homemade chicken noodle soup. Not like the can, but the homemade stuff. Homemade tea and all that fun stuff. Fantastic. Christina's the best. She is.
You're right. I am.
Number one in my book. Let me tell you.
I hope so.
Yes. Especially when I'm ill, though, too. She was amazing. It was great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for taking care of me. That has been
you're welcome.
so good to me. Christine has been so good to me. Nothing but kind words. That's all I can say about her. She's a doctor and a nurse.
You're going overboard.
She is everything, and I'm just like a little sick person, sick puppy dog here, in bed all day, just not doing
He
much
really
of nothing.
was sick. And he was a trooper, and he still went to see the family. He was far enough away from when he first started having symptoms that we felt it was safe, but he definitely practiced good hygiene, covering his mouth, washing his hands frequently.
I just coughed on everybody.
Yeah.
I said, how you doing? On every person I met,
Yeah, we wanted to be really careful, especially because my grandfather and my grandmother are in their 90s. We didn't want to expose them to that. And that brings us back to our topic of talking about cold versus flu. If you start to get those flu symptoms, now again, we're not medical professionals, but I'll tell you, when I got the flu last year and I started to feel
real flu?
This respiratory flu,
Okay.
and I had the fever and I started get the weakness, the body aches, the chills. I called my doctor right away and they prescribed Tamiflu to me.
Tamiflu, what's that?
Yeah, so Tamiflu is this newer medication that's been out for a few years. And what happens is if you take it within your first 48 hours of when symptoms start to show up, it nips it.
Really?
Yes.
Is there antibiotics in the thing at all?
It's not an antibiotic. It's because the flu is like a virus.
Right.
And so it tries to kill it. But there's a way to pretty much prevent the flu. And we would encourage you, get your flu shot.
Yeah. Yes, I would say get your flu shot, everybody. Although I have never had a flu shot in my life.
And you were so sick this time.
I wasn't that sick. I mean, I was sick,
What?
but okay.
What?
I wasn't like on my deathbed.
What? People, I have the text messages.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the flu shot. I mean, I don't know. I never had. My dad's like, get the flu shot every old time. Get the flu shot.
Well, you can't get it now because you had the flu already.
Right. So I'm like, already had. So it's like, also with the flu shot. Check this out. I heard a lot of people get sick and they
Nope.
die
No.
from taking the flu shot.
That is a lie. That is fake news.
fake news.
Fake news.
No. I've heard people got sick and they died.
No, not from the flu shot.
Yes.
No,
Flu
it
shot.
is a dead virus.
Yeah, dead person that took it. They're dead now.
No, fake news. You cannot die from the flu shot. It is a dead virus. They inject just a little bit of it so it builds up your
Why?
antibodies so that your body doesn't become susceptible
So why do you
to
get
that
sick
strain.
of the flu after you get the flu shot?
You don't. It's a dead virus.
I hear people who take the flu shot always get sick. Always. And people who don't take the flu shot, like me, are perfect.
Okay, I'm going to make him research this, people, because he's spreading fake news. Fake news. Please, evidence from this household is that it was a really miserable time for Chris. He still has that lingering cough. So
I know.
definitely.
It's like a smoker's cough. They don't smoke.
Practice good hygiene. Protect your family. Do what you need to do. Flu shot, Tamiflu, emergency, all
And
those
shout
things.
out to NyQuil, by the way. Shout out to those guys. They hooked me up all week.
Yeah.
All day, all week. Dayquil, NyQuil.
Yep.
Yeah, those are my favorites.
So we hope that you don't get stricken down with a flu. I got a little touch of it. I think I've escaped it, but since I've been exposed, I need to wait a few days to make sure I don't get sick, and then I'll go get my flu shot. But typically, they say flu season starts in October, and it's
really?
projected to go till March this year.
How do they figure that out?
It's just because of the onset of it. They have a map that you can look at. I think it's through one of the healthcare companies, and you can see the trajectory of the flu spreading.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm no doctor.
You're right. You're not.
Or pharmacist or anything like that. But I want to know, is the flu different every year?
Yeah, it is.
Why do they just make one to kill it all? And don't have to,
I know that would be cool, right?
It's like a game. It's like every year a new flu shot. But like, can't you just make one that just kills everything and don't have to worry about it?
I don't know. I've wondered about that because we got like measles and mumps vaccines and all these other vaccines when we were kids. I wonder if there's a way to like have a master influenza vaccine. That would be amazing.
Right, but I heard like it's different every year. It's a different strain.
But if there was like a base to it that was the same and it was like attack anything like it.
Now you're talking like science fiction stuff.
Dun,
You ever
dun,
seen the
dun,
movie I Am Legend? Will Smith, Last Month on Earth.
No.
That's basically the start of the movie is how you're describing right now. They actually took the flu virus or something. They actually made like a or measles or something like that, and then they twisted it around to go out and like kill cancer cells or something or whatever. And of course it mutates and then end of the world and zombies and all that stuff. So, yeah, keep on that. Zombies before you know it.
That sounds like one of the conversations you were having with one of my family
Yes, because he was working on that type of stuff, and I said, knock it off. That's how The Walking Dead got started.
Well, we hope that you've learned a little bit about the flu from us and that you heed our advice to practice good hand hygiene. And if you're dating someone, I mean, we're not wishing illness on you, but we really do think that it's good for you to see how each other handles illness since you're going to be navigating through that at some point in life and love each other well.
Right. Well, good luck to you, and hope you all feel better. I feel better.
I hope you feel better, too.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be right back after this with our second hot topic.
Yes, and a little teaser for our second hot topic. It has to do with something that may actually ail you and fix you, and you don't even know about it, but you're probably drinking it right now. The Chris and Christine Show is available everywhere on Google Play with Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Okay, what's happened? Welcome back. Here we are now. I was sick. I kind of still am sick a little bit, and Christine has to put up with it. But, yeah. You there? Yeah.
Put up with it is definitely the word. Mm-hmm.
Yes, put up with it. But there is actually a common drink that I love to drink. In fact, my little emoji character is holding one up in the little picture, and that is coffee. Now, coffee actually has some serious health benefits.
Yeah, Chris tries to find any reason he can to justify his coffee consumption. He is not a nice person when he wakes up in the morning and he's out of coffee.
Oh,
It's like
gosh.
crisis mode, crisis mode. I remember getting a panic text during those first couple of months we were dating. He's like, babe, I am out of coffee. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm out of coffee. And at the time he had one of those Keurig machines. And I was like, well, like, can you like rig one? And like, I don't know. Do you need me to like order you DoorDash Starbucks? And he's like, oh no, I have like 3 cups left. I was like, dude, you're not out yet. So
Well, almost.
coffee is important in this household.
Yes, I wake up to coffee. You know, I work with coffee and go
Yeah.
to work with coffee and
Coffee,
all that.
coffee.
That's right. Now, coffee has some nutrition to it. It says here in an 8-ounce regular brewed coffee, there's only 5 calories.
Yeah, you know, when I was doing my weight loss stuff the last couple of months, coffee was like, I could have it. I didn't drink a lot of it, but I enjoyed having coffee because it's low calories and it doesn't have really any macros, which is what people typically count when they're trying to
Is
keep in
macros,
fat burn.
is that fat? Macros?
Macronutrients, it's the way that they calculate calories for carbs, for fats, and for proteins. And so not having a lot of macros is good, but it's only good if you don't add all the stuff into
Right.
it.
It says
right?
here, if you add all the, of course, I love to load my coffee up with coffee creamer. I love French vanilla. I like all the good ones, really. French vanilla is like my go-to. It's like the most common one. It's like the basic B one. Everyone gets French vanilla, but, you know. But it works. I load. I don't get crazy. Like, I don't turn my coffee white. I keep it like coffee color.
Why are you looking at me like that, judgy poo?
I'm not. I'm just looking in that direction over there.
When he gets coffee creamers, he's like, I got an extra one because I know you're going to be having coffee and I know you use a lot. So, but it's saying that coffee has good nutritional facts if you're not adding all that stuff, right?
Right, but
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Okay, that's what it has. It's 5 calories, 1 gram of protein, 0 grams of carbs,
Mm-hmm.
1 gram of fiber, and 0 grams of fat. Now that's per 8-ounce cups of regular coffee based on adding nothing to it. But who's going to add nothing to it? you
Right, but
know?
coffy has fiber?
Yes, you didn't know that?
Okay, that explains everything.
It
Have
sure
you ever?
did.
I mean, I'm not going to go into detail, but fiber is the thing that keeps you regular. So I don't know if you like have a. I have this. I have a couple cups of coffee on an empty stomach, and it gets things moving. If you
Yes.
know what I mean.
Yes, definitely.
Keeps you
Definitely.
regular, people. Who
Yes,
needs
get
Metamucil?
the coffee, you know what? So, so
All right, so
anyways,
it's good for that. Coffee
yes.
has fiber. There
yes,
we go.
and of course, the most important ingredient in coffee is caffeine.
Yep.
Caffeine. Now, how much caffeine does this coffee have? Now, a regular brewed coffee that you brew at home has about 92 milligrams.
Is that a lot?
Well, actually not, because it gets higher from there. Now, check this out. Decaffeinated brewed coffee. Who would have thought about this? Decaffeinated coffee.
Still has caffeine.
It's in the name. Decaffeinated actually has 2 milligrams.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit. It's like trace. Like
Right.
trace amounts.
Right. Instant coffee. Like, I don't buy the instant coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of just like sprinkle it. You buy the instant coffee, right?
Yeah, I have some right here.
Okay. Well, it's 62 milligrams.
Okay.
Now the Starbucks Blonde Roast.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Ooh, 180 milligrams.
Of caffeine?
Yes.
Okay, well, get this one. So, my typical Starbucks drink is I order a skinny blonde roast vanilla latte with an extra shot. So that means I get 4 shots of
What?
blonde roast espresso,
Whoa.
non-fat milk, sugar-free vanilla,
Well,
and
of
I have them
course.
put 1 Splenda in because if it's not sweet enough, they got to sweeten it up a little bit more. So do you think that's bad that I have so many shots of
not
espresso?
at all. I mean, gosh, gosh.
But I mean, it tastes smoother, but it has more caffeine.
Maybe.
Oh.
Well, let's see here. And then, of course, Starbucks dark roast. That's 130 milligrams.
So how much was the blonde roast?
A little more, 180.
Wow. I had no idea.
Now, you get the espresso shot, like you're saying, the actual espresso shot is actually 127 milligrams by itself.
What? Okay, so I have 4 of them in my latte.
So do the math on that. What is it, like 9,000 milligrams of caffeine?
480 something milligrams of caffeine.
Well, the caffeine does help cure with headaches. That's a good thing for it.
You know what? That would make sense.
Yeah.
I only have that twice a week, though. Once a week lately, but sometimes twice a week. But that makes sense.
The cold brew. It's a new thing I've seen now. It's a cold
nitro?
brew. Yeah, nitro, cold brew, whatever you want to call it. It's got about 283 milligrams of caffeine. So it's got the most of all of them. So if you want to get your jolt on, get the cold brew.
I wonder why. It's just cold brew coffee.
Well, they don't just let it sit outside. It's not cold that way. They brew it somehow over ice or something maybe.
And it's compressed and then it's nitro, so it's sweeter.
You know what? You got me. But here we go. Here are the health benefits of coffee.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, the first thing is actually heart help. It prevents heart disease.
It prevents heart disease? But I thought that, coffee shoots up your blood pressure.
It does. It does shoot up your blood pressure a little bit. What it does, it says though coffee can increase your blood pressure for up to 3 hours overconsumption, and people with high blood pressure are advised not to drink large quantities of caffeine or coffee, sorry. But it's not linked daily to coffee drinking with negative effects on blood pressure and heart disease risk over the long term.
That's interesting. So my dad, he drinks decaf actually because he's had blood pressure issues, and I'm wondering if it's actually going to not help him as much with overall heart health.
Well, it depends. Everything's based on moderation. I think you're saying here is that if you drink it in moderation, not large amounts, you don't previously have heart problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, heart problems already. It shouldn't be too bad for you. Actually, just pretty good.
What other kinds of benefits, Chris?
Well, it says here that there is a one antioxidant.
Antioxidant?
That's the word.
Yep.
Called chlorogenic acid. This paralbuminol, can't even say it, is also found in grapes and berries, and coffee is actually a much higher amount per serving than blueberries. And a caffeine can dilate blood vessels, and as anti-inflammatory properties, it may boost blood flow.
Interesting. So what I just heard you say is that the antioxidants in coffee actually are equivalent to blueberries.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Then that the presence of the caffeine in the coffee can actually dilate blood vessels or open them up?
That's right. And boost blood flow.
Okay. So that would make sense why when people have headaches, if they drink coffee specifically,
the caffeine
it helps because it opens things up, and typically people get headaches when there's pressure, when it's
caffeine is actually an ingredient in Excedrin, which is a pain medicine,
which I'm allergic to.
Well, I love that stuff.
I know you do.
Shout out Excedrin, what's up? So, okay, speaking of that, I got brain health. Speaking of your brain and headaches, it says 2 to 4 cups of coffee a day seems to be a sweet spot for brain health. A review in Practical Neurology found that drinking this much coffee had positive impacts on brain health, including increased alertness, concentration, and well-being. Hallelujah. Got a miracle in a cup.
You know what? I would believe that because I cannot function very well if I haven't had a big cup of coffee.
Who hasn't? Also, it says here, it's been proven to reduce the risk in developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
Wow.
Cure all.
Magical.
It's magic.
Magic. I like to call it hot Java love.
Oh, here it says here, caffeine can help relieve pain related to headaches and migraines. We just covered that. But it says it right here. And you already said that because Dr. Christine is in the house.
Yeah, well, it's just because I've struggled through migraines and all that. And I've tried eliminating foods and all of that. But
speaking of foods, check this out.
Okay, let's hear it.
It helps fix diabetes. It's
Fix diabetes?
Well, it says here a recent study. Well, yeah,
Fake news, people. Dr. Chris.
Like I said,
Come
I'm not
into
a doctor.
Dr. Chris's office and you leave with a prescription for Starbucks. Hey, do you think that's a possibility?
Just
Be
give you a gift card.
my doctor prescribed me Starbucks. Can I use my health savings account? Because I totally need a latte.
Well, you might try to write it off. It says right here. It says a current study of current diabetes reviews. Hey, do you read the current diabetes reviews magazine on the reg?
Absolutely. It's right.
Well, if you did, you read this article. It said found that people who drank up to 4 to 7 cups of coffee daily had lower rates of developing type 2 diabetes than those who drank less than 2 cups a day. Wait, is this said you had to drink 4 to 7 cups?
Okay. I'm going to pause you right there, cowboy, because I'm going to give you a little background. So all of our listeners, they know that I'm in my doctoral program, right? Yes.
Dr.
Okay.
Christine.
Yeah. I'm in a class right now, and it's called Inquiry Methods. And just this past week, we were learning about what's called research reliability and research validity. And what it says is when you're looking at a study and they make a claim, that you have to make sure that there's not other contributing variables. So what I would say, Dr. Chris, to what you just read to me, is that I have some questions of reliability and validity on what you just said, because it seems like there might be some other external factors impacting that.
Yeah, well, it says here, additional research published in Diabetes Care.
Right.
Do you subscribe to that one too?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I read it every day.
Yeah, on the toilet. I found that the risk of developing type 2 diabetes over a 20-year period decreased as caffeine consumption increased up to 6 cups a day. Now, who's drinking 6 cups a day?
Right. They must be drinking a lot of water and other stuff too. So there, like I said, there's other confounding variables. There you go.
Yes.
All of my EDD people, I just said confounding variables. You're welcome.
Right. And on to the next one we got, and related to that, we got the next one is called a mood booster. Now, who didn't know about this?
Yep.
Aside from waking up, coffee can improve your mood and outlook on a significant way.
So maybe that's what I need to give you.
What?
Like when you're in a bad mood, just like slide you a cup of coffee, or what's chocolate covered espresso beans. Would those work?
I don't know if I've ever had those.
We should try them. They should
bet you have 'em
probably
in
be
Hawaii.
like magic pills.
I bet Hawaii's got them, I bet.
Ooh, Hawaii coffee. Is Hawaii coffee stronger? Because you talked about Starbucks. What about like the Kona fancy
I used to
stuff?
get that all the time, the Kona coffee.
But from Costco, not from Hawaii.
Yeah, well, I don't know where they got it from. But yeah, it was Kona brand. I liked it. It was a little sweeter, I think, maybe, I mean, not as harsh like the Starbucks stuff. But it says here that it may... consuming up to 4 cups of coffee a day has been shown to reduce depression risk and alleviate symptoms for depression in women. Christine, talking to you, baby.
What are you trying to say?
It says drink
Trying
more
to
coffee.
give me more coffee? I see. I see how it is.
And it says here, furthermore, several studies have found that drinking 2 to 4 cups of coffee a day may reduce the risk of suicide.
Okay. I'm going to stop us there because those are a whole lot of loaded statements, people. We are not medical professionals, but what we are going to say is coffee is happy juice.
And it'll help you help cure depression in a way. But it says here, quote unquote, that a doctor might actually prescribe real medication. But, coffee can help in a little bit, a little bit.
What we're trying to say is that coffee has many, many benefits. And if you are not a drinker of coffee, it is the 3rd most consumed beverage in the world, right behind water and tea. So you definitely want to
over alcohol, like
hop
beer?
on the coffee train.
Over alcohol and beer?
Yep. 3rd most consumed beverage in the world.
Wine?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Well, speaking of that, it says it has liver health to your liver. It says yet again, coffee's antioxidants are credited to with beneficial numerous liver help the potential benefits for numerous liver diseases. Well, the exact mechanisms aren't clear. There are strong associations between drinking coffee, reduce the risk of and improve outcome of several liver conditions, including liver cancer, chronic liver disease, and hepatitis C. And
Okay.
I don't want any of that stuff.
No, this is a whole lot of mumbo jumbo. All that to
Whatever.
say, we can't make those claims, but what we can say is that coffee is delicious, and coffee
yeah, we add a lot of
can help
creamer to
improve
it.
your health.
Yes, and if you are sick, I would suggest drinking lots of coffee.
Coffee, hot tea, drink lots of water, flush your system out.
Right.
Yep.
All
Get it
that
going.
fun stuff.
Get all those little bugs out of your body.
Whew, man, I need some coffee right now. Speaking of which.
So you're going to need to get some coffee tomorrow morning in those brand new Chris and Christine show mugs.
Oh, that's right.
I
gotta
know,
wash
so
those out
excited
and
for
get ready.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
so
By the way,
fun.
thank you for all the gifts and thank you for the birthday wonderful stuff. It's been amazing.
Well, we're going to have even more fun, folks. We're going to be getting you our next episode a little bit late next week because we are going to Hawaii.
Yeah, so we get back.
Yeah, we
It's
get
gonna-
back Sunday night late.
Right, like Monday. Monday, I'll probably do a podcast on Monday when we put it all out there and get it all together.
Yeah, we're going to be recapping some of our fun travel. And coming up also in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have our guest speaker on the podcast, Barbie Armenta, who is the author of a brand new book that's coming out called The Right Combination. And it's tips for dating and love after divorce. And they are releasing their book on the 22nd, which I think is like tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, so go check it out. And we're going to be having Barbie and her amazing husband and co-author on the show in the next 2 weeks. So be looking forward to it. It's our first live guest speaker, so we're really excited to have them on the line with us all the way from Texas. We can't wait.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
We're going to wrap up tonight's show with a fun Would You Rather. And Chris, I have this one for you in the spirit of getting over sickness and preparing for travel. Would
Okay.
you rather get a flu shot or sit in the middle row of an airplane on a 5-hour flight with no leg room?
Oh, I don't know. I probably take the flu shot. I hate shots, but I guess it's good for you. So it's painful or whatever, but it's good for you in the long run.
I
So.
agree. I would take the momentary flu shot to keep me from future pain and sit me in first class.
Oh, okay. Well, wait, you didn't say that part.
I didn't say that part. Yeah,
Okay,
it's just a
okay.
would you rather. So
Okay.
yeah. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being on with us tonight. We really appreciate you tuning in week after week. Thank you, St. Peter's, for tuning in this week. That was a new city that we saw.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Last week it was Caledonia. This week is St. Peter's. Thanks for our listeners in Mexico, Spain, Norway.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
United States,
Kingdom.
United Kingdom, Australia. We
Yep.
love you all.
Yes.
Keep listening. Subscribe, share, follow.
Okay, and if you guys want to help fund the fun, you just want to be part of the show, help out the show, you can go over to the Patreon. We have set up an account over there. Under Patreon, you can look up the Chris and Christine Show, spelled exactly like you see it on the podcast. And if you guys help us out, we actually can let you be part of the show, and actually we can record your voice and have you guys do a shout out on the show. So everybody who subscribes on our Patreon, helps donate, will actually get the chance to be on the Chris and Christine Show.
Yeah, so it's a really fun way to get involved. It costs just $5 a month, and all of the proceeds that get donated to the Chris and Christine Show go right back in to help us fund the purchase of new equipment. You can't see it right now, but we've enhanced the studio just a little bit, and we
Right.
have hopes of really helping to enhance the sound quality, especially when we have featured guests, because we
Right.
have some great plans for the future. So go to Patreon, patreon.com, and look for the Chris and Christine Show to become a Patreon patron and fund the fun.
That's right. Fantastic. And thank you guys for listening. Thank all of you guys for listening. You guys have been great. And we don't do this without you guys.
And so we're going to say aloha, and we're going to head out to celebrate a fun week of Chris in Hawaii.
That's right. We're going to be in Hawaii, so aloha. And we will see you guys when you get back. And you guys have a fantastic week.
Remember this week that life is too short to wake up in the morning with regret.
So love the people who treat you right, forget about the ones who don't, and believe that everything happens for a reason.
If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said that it would be easy.
They just promised it would be worth it. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Chris.
And I'm Christine, and until next week,
Keep moving forward.